Hi, my name is Ian Mendoza. Today we are going to talk about camera shots, angles, and movements. The first thing we are going to talk about is camera shots. So, what is a camera shot? A camera shot is composed of the series of frames that are shot and interrupted from the moment the camera starts rolling until it stops. So, for example, we have the extreme long shot, also referred as extreme wide shot. It conveys contextualizing information to the viewer about where the action in a scene is taking place or sets a character in their context. This is useful to establish an scene, okay, and and also to give information to the viewer about the current situation. Next we have the long shot. The long shot is useful to establish the relation between the character and their environment. This particular kind of shot usually covers the full length of the body of the character and also the environment that he is within. Next, we have the medium shots or mid shot. The mid shot usually covers from the waist to the top of the head of the character. This kind of shot is useful in the dialogues because it allows to perceive and see the facial expressions but also the body language. And finally we have the close-up and the extreme close-up. So the close-up is a type of camera shot that gives information about facial expressions, is very emotional, and usually it covers from the shoulders to the top of the head. And finally the extreme close-up, it's when an object, a part of the body or something, covers the entire screen of the shot to emphasize or give a detail or heighten an emotion. So next we are going to talk about camera angles. So what is a camera angle? A camera angle is used to specify the location where the camera is placed to take a shot. The position of the camera in relation to the objects can affect the way the viewer perceives the scene. And a scene may be shot simultaneously from multiple camera angles to amplify the cinematic effect and the emotions. The first type of camera angle that we are going to talk about is the eye level shot. It's the most common camera angle and is from the eyes of the character, and usually it mimics how we see people in real life. Okay, the second one is the low angle shot. The low angle shot is a special kind of shot that gives information about the power of the character. It also allows us to recognize the vulnerability or both the power and the vulnerability of a character. Next we have the high angle shot. The high angle shot gives us a sensation of weakness, vulnerability, fear for something that is about to happen to the character. The next one is the hip level shot. A hip level shot is when your camera is roughly waist height. Next we have the knee level shot. The knee level shot is when you put the camera at the height of the knees, and they can emphasize a character's superiority if paired with a low angle. And finally, a ground level shot. It usually gives information about what's happening on the floor, and is when you put the camera as low as the ground. And finally, we have the camera movement. What is a camera movement? Camera movement is a powerful filmmaking tool employed to modify the relationships between the subject and the camera frame, with the goal of altering viewers' perspective of space and time for a more impactful and visual storytelling. So the first that we are going to review is the pan. A pan is when you move your camera from one side to the other. Panning generally is helpful to reveal a larger scene, like a crowd, or reveal something off screen. Okay? The next tool that we are going to review is the tilt. To tilt, imagine your camera is your heading not up and down. Okay? Next we have the zoom. Zooming is probably the most commonly used camera movement. It lets you quickly move closer to the subject without physically moving. Next we have the tracking shot. The tracking shot is when you follow horizontally the character or the main object that you want to emphasize in your film. Okay? Next we have the dolly shot. The dolly shot is when the camera moves towards or away from the subject that you are shooting. It's similar to the zoom, but in this case the camera moves. Usually the dolly shot is useful to build drama or tension in a scene. And finally we have following shot. The following shot is a tracking shot in which the camera continuously follows the subject's action. Pedestal, also known as boom up and down. This involves moving the camera up or down relative to a subject. It's different from the tilt that we looked at earlier, as the entire camera ascends or descends, rather than just the camera angle. A pedestal shot can be used to frame a tall or high subject, such as building, while keeping the framing at eye level. Thank you for your time and patience, and I hope this information is useful for learning camera shots, angles, and movement.